Welcome to Mystical Motherhood's podcast, Season 3. This is Pritam Atma, the author of both Fertile and Mystical Motherhood, which are available on my website, Mystical Motherhood, and available on Amazon. Today's guest is going to give birth in a birthing center in the UK, and she was planning a home birth, and so she has to switch her mindset within the next 4 to 6 weeks and prepare for this. So I talk about some basic yogic practices to prepare for birth, some stress relieving things you can do for any time at all, and also how to handle a postpartum in a really, really conscious way. I speak about the 40 days postpartum, equaling 40 years of your health and life, and how significant this period of time is to secure the first chakra of the child. If you are pregnant or giving birth or a mother at this period of time, it is so vital to remain stress-free for your family. And Mystical Motherhood and all the work I put out there is all about changing the frequency of the mother so that she can be a better human being and change the children she brings into this world. Either if you're not pregnant, all the practices available on my website, www.mysticalmotherhood.com. There are so many meditations available, and you can write into me at mysticalmotherhood@gmail.com, and I will send you meditations. If you'd like to work with me privately, you need a healing, you need a reading, you need guidance, you're ready to consciously conceive, you're ready to change your entire life, reach out to me. I help people all over the world going through the changes that this planet is going through, which is a massive heart opening, and various timelines are converging. And so we're here to create a new reality now. And part of that new reality is creating a new type of family. And you will learn a lot through my work, and hopefully a lot through this podcast of pregnancy and focusing on the postpartum. Thanks so much.
How are you?
I'm good. Tell me, let's jump right in. What's going on in London or in your area? Where are you based?
So I'm in Kent, which is it's outside of London. It's about 45 minutes on the train, maybe like an hour or so's drive, and it's peaceful. It's quiet. It's like no one's out, no planes are in the sky, no trains are running, no cars are on the road. There's birds everywhere. The weather's been amazing. Look.
So what are they telling you, that you can't have a home birth?
Oh, no, I can't have a home birth. They've suspended home birth.
They've suspended home birth. So everyone who's listening, they've suspended home birth in all of UK?
So just in my trust at the moment, so just in the NHS trust that I'm in, I definitely know about, but there's other places too in the UK where they're not allowing it.
So what would happen if you did it?
I did ask my midwife that, and my midwife was a bit like, please don't, because you'd have to just get the paramedics would come out to you. You wouldn't have a midwife there.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, I'm not going to lie, it did cross my mind, but I think for safety reasons.
I'm just asking what the deal is. And so they just don't want people in your home and to share the COVID virus? Yeah. Is that what they're thinking?
I think they're just worried about, obviously in hospitals, they can control the environment so much more, whereas in people's homes, they don't know who's been in, what's on the surfaces, how the people that have been in the house around us as well. So they're taking temperatures now when you go into the hospital, and being really strict about it. So in my trust, so in my area, Andy is only allowed into the hospital with me when after I'm 4 centimetres dilated, so in active labour. But before that, he's not allowed.
So you don't have to go in before you're 4 centimetres?
No, exactly. So I'm going to try and stay at home for as long as I possibly can.
Yeah, and it's your first baby. Okay.
That's it.
What is the most fear you need to release right now? And why did you choose a home birth?
So I chose a home birth because I I wanted as little intervention as possible. I wanted to be in my own environment. I wanted to not have to leave my home and be maybe like open to like increases in adrenaline. I wanted to keep it as calm and as like personal as possible. And everything, to be honest, every course I've been on, or, you know, so over here we have like antenatal courses. I'm sure it's the same for you in New York, but every course I've been on in the UK, we've got a thing called Bump and Baby, which I did. I've done a hypnobirthing course. Like, they all basically said how hospitals intervene so quickly these days, and they were all really like pro home birth. So yeah.
And so those were your best resources for choosing a home birth?
Yeah, and my instincts, I think. So like I'm quite trustworthy in my own body. Like, I feel like we're women. We were born to give birth. We've been doing it for generations, more than generations. You know, like, I just feel like I could, if there's anything that I could do without assistance, is give birth.
Yeah. Is part of your reason for wanting to do a home birth to do it naturally? Do you aim for a natural birth?
I would like to be as natural as possible, but to be honest, I as long as baby's here safely, then I'm safe, you know, and everyone's okay, then I'm not worried about the pain relief as such.
Okay. And have you called the hospital to see when they like you to come in? Because some hospitals have a policy. So when you're having contractions every 5 minutes, some hospitals that would be a policy for, and other hospitals have different policies. Did you ask them about that?
Yes. So they asked. So I've actually been booked in at the birthing centre. Do you have birthing centres over there?
Yes.
Right, okay, so it's a bit different to the hospital. You can only go there if you're low risk. So I've had a low risk pregnancy. So I went there and they did an assessment on me, and I've booked in there. So instead of now calling the hospital, I called the birthing centre instead. And they said they were pretty relaxed about it. They said, come in. They say 3 and 10. So if you're having 3 contractions in 10 minutes, equal distances apart, then you go in. But yeah, you just call ahead.
So every 3 minutes apart, every 3 to 4, 3 minutes about.
Yeah.
That's great. So that would put you in closer to more active labor. So you want a contraction to come every 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
To get you into active labor. Some women can't handle that level of pain, but typically women of home birth, like who prepare for a home birth, and I just did some other, podcasts on this, it's like preparing for a marathon. And so like you have to prepare for that level of pain. And just so you're aware, as you're progressing, 7 centimeters is usually the time that it's a threshold breaker. 5 to 7 centimeters. Okay. So just so you know, like you'll know as you're progressing through labor, what I've seen with women is the beginning, it depends on every woman and also their ability to handle life in general. Because as Ina McGaskin says, you birth as you live. You birth as you react to life. And and it's almost like a parent with every woman. You can see the neurotic tendencies. You can see if they're just full of trust and love. Because you go into such a vulnerable state, you also go into a different part of your brain. And Ina May Gaskin called it the monkey brain. And so you actually have to go into this part of the brain you never use, like a primal part of the brain. And so that will help you push the baby out, and it's not logical. And so the positions become illogical. The sequences aren't normal. And so that's why, like, when you put somebody on an epidural, they're just lying down, but they can't get into their body to move around in the way they should. But once if you choose to do an epidural, do it after 5 centimeters.
Okay.
Don't do it early. Do it, trust me, get to 5. Okay. Always, if you choose that you want an anesthesiologist, a lot of centers, I don't know if they do epidurals in the birth center?
They don't do epidurals in the birth center. They just do gas and air.
Okay, done. So you don't have a choice.
Yeah. So they said unless I have a really long labour and I get exhausted, they would say, well, if I did find myself in that situation, they'd send me to the hospital.
Okay, great. So then we don't have to worry about you deciding between an epidural. But for anybody who's listening, try to wait. I mean, everyone's different, but you want to make sure you know when the anesthesiologist is around, if you choose to have that, because the timing, a 45-minute wait for an anesthesiologist when you're in active labor is beyond anything you can ever describe. And so make sure you have a conversation with whoever you're working with of like, okay, I need to get one. And even for you, if you decide to go to the hospital to get one, that you have to think of that and the timing of it, and then how you can move and even consciously get it. Because when you're having labor and when you go into an alternative universe, your own universe, and it's almost like you may feel like you're alone, and you may feel like you need to be alone, like actually be alone in a room and to work it out yourself. And so it's all the best kind of birth workers I find are very quiet ones. Like if your husband, like less talking, more presence. I mean, men are good at that. Even when they naturally just do that, right? But it's sort of just like that grounded presence, like just somebody's there and it's super slow and quiet. That seems to be like, if you're choosing a doula right now, somebody's listening, you're choosing a doula, somebody like that, somebody who's grounded, somebody who's calm, somebody who can make decisions without reaction. And even with
this is another thing, Chelsea. I did have a doula. I have a doula. So she's been with me since 12 weeks pregnant, I would say. We're talking since then. And you're only allowed one birth partner now. So
she can come postpartum, so you can still pay her, and it's actually better to have her come postpartum.
Is it, do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
What you mean, less people around in the...
Well, I mean, for your situation, it's like, it's great to have someone in the birth, but you're going to be with midwives and you're going to have your husband there. So let's look at the bonus of that. Some people around the earth right now can't even have their husband in the room. Mm-hmm. In America, they're not even allowed to bring their husband in, and they're having a really hard time with that. So let's just thank God you can bring your husband in UK, right? Second, postpartum is much harder than anyone ever recognizes, and nor do people plan for the level of the heaviness of a postpartum. And I think it's actually what should be planned for. The birth is like, take your classes, do your thing, but you can't even expect what may happen. You can't even anticipate the level of exhaustion and work a birth takes. But like the postpartum is like having somebody care for you and doing the Ayurvedic cooking from Mystical Motherhood, the book, using that recipe in there, under that recipe for 4 to 10 days will change you. Your whole metabolism, the baby's milk, eating just that. I swear to God, you'll feel so nourished and so healthy. You'll be able to recover. And so what you have to remember is the 40 days postpartum are equal to 40 years of your health and 40 years of your life. Uh-huh. I will repeat, 40 days postpartum are equal to 40 years of your life. So there are women who get back into working out those 40 days. There are women that separate from the baby those 40 days. Do not do that. If you're going to think of how do I create the base needs, which is what Mystical Motherhood, my book's all about, the first book, and create the base chakra system of the child is created within those 40 days postpartum. The baby cannot be separated from you. I mean, it's with you and husband. Don't let a bunch of other people come over and hold the baby. Don't. It's mom, dad, nanny, anybody. It's your baby, 40 days. Just promise yourself that, and that's a big boundary because that baby needs to know your smell and needs to know your eyes and dad's eyes, right? Everybody else, that's their own selfish stuff. And then they can come close if your mom wants to come lay in the bed with you, but you just stay by that baby. And the yogis say not to separate the baby from you for 9 feet. So never farther than 9 feet. So that's really halfway, not even halfway across the room.
Okay. That's so interesting.
Yeah, super powerful because they have to stay in your aura. And after birth, your aura actually expands. The typical human aura is 3 feet, and then the largest is it can expand as 9 feet.
Is that after birth?
I don't know why they say 9 feet. I don't know if there's but Yogi Bhajan said 9 feet, and so I wouldn't do it. And I didn't know this at first, but after all the research I've done and all the classes I've taken and everything, is I just wouldn't mess with it. It's 40 days. Just do it. And then after that, who cares? Go back to work, do your thing, but just secure that. And I can tell you, my baby was so good. And I have very intelligent kids now. I don't know what the heck I did, but man, they're smart and they're advanced and they're psychic. The one I did this with, the one I meditated with Kundalini, my second child, that I actually did Kundalini throughout the pregnancy, not as much as I even do now, but a little bit a day. And I did like one class a week. And I played the mantras after her birth. And I did the Ayurvedic diet and I did the 40 days postpartum. She's a psychic. The kid is psychic. She says things to me that are out of this world. And I'm like, you're a living legend. But it's not me. It's the meditations I did and the type of child she is.
Yeah. Yeah.
My first child's intuitive, but not to the level of psychic that the second child is. I mean, maybe they'll both be the same, but everybody has their own gift. Questions?
Yes, I've been doing a bit of meditation. Probably not as much as you want me to be doing.
I know, I want you to be doing so much. Right now is the most potent period too. So right now you can do the most
I've got
clearing.
A month to go.
The between 7 and 9 months is the most important period.
Okay. Yes, I've been doing more like morning meditation. I've been doing the Adi
Shakti.
Shakti. Yeah, that's it. And just generally like trying to breathe and like rest my mind. But yeah, so I was doing yoga classes as well, but obviously they've all been cancelled. So yeah, trying to do it on my own, which is fine. I can do it. But it always helps when I was like with people.
Yeah. Do you know where to go online to do it?
Is this your Rama?
You could do it on Rama TV.
Yeah.
There's a great teacher named Tej at Nine Treasures Yoga that does amazing classes. It's some of the best I've ever had in my life.
I'll write this down.
Anyone who's listening, Tej from Nine Treasures Yoga. And she's teaching at 9 a.m. Pacific time in California. But I think you can get the replay for these classes. And the energy through the classes is significant and transformative. Rama TV is another Kundalini yoga that we can do at home that is always having great stuff come out. And it's really good for when you're pregnant. While you're waiting for this baby to come, the best thing you can do is walk 5 miles a day.
5 miles?
Yes. 5 miles. It's not that hard. It's 10,000 steps. And it will get, if you do Kundalini yoga for the next 4 weeks, like 2 times a week, and you begin to walk 3 to 5 miles a day, so the Japanese do 500 squats. Okay. So this is the most. I'm always going to give you the hardcore stuff, right? So let's just say Japanese do 500 squats. The yogis walk 5 miles, and I push you to meditate 30 minutes, right? So minimum. So I also don't want you to hurt yourself, but these are all gentle. I would say, you're doing this very gently and very slowly. The 5 miles could, take 2-3 hours. But there's a meditation you can do with your husband where you hold hands, and with each step, you step in conjunction with each other. So your steps are moving together. So left goes first, then right foot, then left foot, then right foot. And with each step, you go Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru in your head. You're just sort of like in your breathing. Then you can talk too, but then when you're not talking and you're in silence, each step is a mantra, and that is a walking meditation for when you're pregnant with your husband, so that the husband, you two begin to create like the third unity field with the baby.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'd love to do that.
So write that down. So you hold his hand, and anybody who's listening, you can do this in general with your partner. 1 foot left, Wahe, right foot, Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru. Wahe, and the new word Guru, Guru. And you're holding hands, and you're just kind of in a meditative walk. So everyone right now who's like lovingly walking in this coronavirus experience can do that walking meditation with your partner, and you don't even need to tell your partner. You can do it. What's so amazing about relationships is only one person has to do the work.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely like to do that. Although I am finding it difficult to walk I can walk far, I guess, but I can't walk fast. So maybe this would be a good
you
thing
just
to do.
walk. I'm not telling you to run a marathon at all. I'm telling you to walk because you'll have an easier birth. Because it's the stamina, and I'm telling you to do these things because the stamina of a natural birth is like a marathon. And it is, and so it's like you've got to get in the mindset of like almost like a warrior mindset. I'm going to have a natural birth. It's not like I'm going to have one. It's like, no, this is really intense. And I'm not going to tell you it's easy. It's hard. The first birth is not as easy as the second one. It's your body, your hips are going to open. You may feel at a period that your body is splitting. Your body's not splitting, but your bones are opening. You may feel like your bones are cracking. They're not cracking. So remember when you're in labor and you're going to say, Chelsea told me I'm not breaking in half. Does this make sense? Because
yeah, no, you know, I've heard so many people say that it did feel like they were breaking.
And you'll feel like you'll literally feel like you're splitting because what happens is you're so high. You're so high, you have so much adrenaline going, so much endorphin, so much, your aura is opening because you're letting a child into this world. There's so many things happening. You have angels all around you, right? And this child's coming through, and we know that this child is from planet Sirius, right? We do know this, and from the lineage of the Egyptians and from Isis. So you can create your temple space with Isis there and Grandpa there, and that's real. And so you call in Isis, and you call in the goddess Isis, the original birther. You call in Hathor. You call in the ancient Egyptians and the protectors. You call in the ascended masters, Mary Magdalene, Green Tara, and you make it real. Like, I'm giving birth, and this is happening right now. This is a saint. Help me. And then it's like, you're not just leaning on your husband. It's like, you have to remember that there's another world, a subtle world that's just as powerful as this world. But you can't take this. I'm going to birth coach you like crazy. You can't take this lightly. I'm not a doula, but I would be like a boot camp person and telling you, if you want a natural birth, you have to take it like a training session. And you have to get like a little bit like, okay, I'm prepping my mind, body, and spirit fully in the next 4 weeks to release this. And in the birth will be easier if you walk. The birth will be easier if you squat. And in the squatting...
So you mean when squats, just normal squats?
Yeah, and if it's too hard, so the Japanese do it against the wall. So...
Okay.
And this was taught to me by Anna Mae Gaskin, who I trained with. And she said the Japanese do 500 squats, the good birthers at home. Kundalini yoga helps you give birth quickly. Because you've got energy running through you, your body's getting ready. I've never heard a Kundalini yogi practitioner that had a difficult birth.
Do you think that's because of the breathing as well?
I think it's because it aligns all the 10 bodies. It aligns your endocrine system. It aligns your body, mind, and soul. Your whole system is ready. And then the breathing. I mean, Kundalini has everything in it, every facet of every yoga. So it's not only do you get fit with it, but your meditations get you ready. I don't know why. I mean, on a logical level, I can't tell you, but on what I've studied level, those are the things I'd say. And on a spiritual level, I would just say, well, you've got energy running through you. And it takes energy to give birth.
So then when you're in labor, so this is another thing that I've been thinking, obviously I've visualized being at home for months, 8 months now. So I'm finding it a bit tricky getting my head round and not being in my own environment when I give birth. So like, how do you, when you're in that moment and you're not in the environment you thought you would be in, how do you make sure you focus and remember all of these things? Because I'm just worried that I'll get to labour, I'll get to the birthing centre, not feel like fully prepared to be there, and panic, and it all goes wrong.
Well, I think that this is a normal birth problem for every woman. And no matter where they're giving birth, I mean, this is something I don't think we can make go away because it's our natural inclination to want to protect ourselves. And we all have an idea of how it will happen. And it never happens that way. Not one of my births happened that way. Like, I thought I was going to have a beautiful water birth with Sage. I I had a labor so quickly, we couldn't even get the water into the pool that I rented. I mean, and it was cold, and I was like in a tripping zone. I was a disaster. I wasn't pretty. I thought I was going to look beautiful, and like I was going to be an elegant goddess. It was so heavy, and I was so gross, and it was, it was like, bleh, and it was so painful. I thought I had taught myself to relax my muscles enough. I was so in pain in every single muscle group for the next week. I thought I got hit by a freight train, because rather than relaxing, even though I had done the Bradley method and walked and done everything, I fought every contraction. And so every contraction I tensed up. So the best advice I can give to you is it's not about the environment. It's about what's happening within the body. And so it's more like, I know we think it's an external experience. It's an internal experience. And so I'm going to encourage you to not flip it on what you're looking at on the outside, to start to experience what it will feel like on the inside. And then that's going to flip your idea of what is about to occur. Because no matter what environment you're in, it's your body that's having the experience. The environment doesn't matter.
I never thought of it like that.
If you have the mind, body, soul control and execution like a yogi. So a lot of people, though, this is the exact same thing with the coronavirus. We have an external world that's going absolutely nuts. But if you have, a neutral mind, a solid foundation, a balanced endocrine system, I am not affected by it like the way anyone else is that I know of. And so I'm not having the same experiences as the typical population right now. And so you have to look at it almost the same way as home birth is. That's why this yoga is important. That's why the walking is important. That's why it's like, how do you approach life? And so, so if the external environment can't affect you, which it always does for most people, and I get that walking into any environment that's scary, walking out there where everyone's afraid in New York, and everyone's wearing masks and gloves, it's scary out there, but it's just like, my internal system's so strong, I can get through this. And so if we can get you to not focus on what you're looking at on the outside and actually go more internal during the birth, you won't get so shocked, and you'll remember these words I'm telling you. Okay. And so the most important things when you're going into the birth is you're going to relax your muscles. And you're going to play music that makes you relax, that you won't even be able to hear because you'll be so high. But it'll help your husband, and you're going to make sure he tells you to relax your muscles. And you're going to make sure that he doesn't get too nervous. A lot of husbands get nervous and they actually don't time the contractions properly. So they're so nervous that they forget to time the contractions, and then they don't know how active you are. So it's like he just needs to focus on making you calm and making your muscles relax, providing you a warm and comfortable environment with water. So 3 basic things. And making sure he's timing your contractions to get you to the birth center at the proper time, and not bringing you into his fear.
Okay, that's good.
Those are his 3 main things to do. He supports and his groundedness, and it's just like the male-female relationship. He needs to be fully grounded in his energy, like a rock, super, super grounded, so that your chaos as the feminine can just go crazy. And it's sort of like the universal, when the cosmos are born, something has to be there, like Shiva and Shakti. Shiva's got to hold Shakti, so Shakti can go, right? That's the energy, and he just stays in that. No reaction, nothing. Nothing can waver him. Nothing can make him scared, because once he reflects back the scaredness, then you get scared. And so you have to remind him of that.
He's very good at being grounding me, I would say. So hopefully that will help us in during labour.
Yeah. And then you remember your internal environment is what matters. So start to focus on that. Like, how are you going to breathe? How are you going to remind yourself to relax? You could even begin to do, I found as a labor and delivery nurse, people really did well with hypnobirthing. They did so well. I don't know why hypnobirthing made everybody fine, but hypnobirthers were like, don't touch me. leave me alone. I'm fine. And I would just leave the room. Like they were almost as good as an epidural.
Yeah, well, the hypnobirthing has been really useful actually. So it's just it's like making you feel you're in control. So like controlling your breathing, one way when you're in between contractions, and then breathing a different way when you're in contractions, and just always remembering like certain words and phrases that help you get through it.
Yes.
So that's an internal thing. Again, it's like what you said. I never really thought of it like that.
Yeah, but I just flipped your mindset. It's just flipping your mindset of a neutrality. It doesn't. So because our body, our ego always looks to the external environment, and this is a very internal process. So don't get triggered by it. And you may have to go to the birth center and look at the room. Just like, I just need to see this so I don't get triggered when I come.
Yeah.
And birth centers tend to be a little homier looking.
They are, yeah, very much so. It's more of it looks like, you know, your grandparents' living room when you go in.
Yeah.
Here anyway in the UK.
One thing that's really nice to set up, and I put this in my first book, Mystical Motherhood, which is available on Amazon, and all of this information is also available in Mystical Motherhood and on my website at mysticalmotherhood.com. But one thing to get for your home is a crock pot, and then you're going to get some herbs for your perineum. And the crock pot's hot, so you have to put it somewhere safe. So if you're at home and you have a toddler, don't do this unless the toddler can stay away from the crock pot, because you put the crock pot in the bathroom. You can put and set it all up before you go into labor. I would even have all this stuff ready now and have it in a room, like a birth room, because then you're basically having your postpartum experience as planned at home. So the things that you're going to need is a huge canister for tea next to your bed. And this is all in my book. You're going to need like a snack pack by the side of your door, because if you're going to do the 40 days, you've got to think. It's very great that we're in isolation right now because you just get to do that. But it's so snuggly. And so you're basically creating a really snuggly womb environment for you and the baby to heal. You need to have almond oil or sesame oil to rub the baby with, so you can have warm Ayurvedic rubs. If we weren't in the COVID crisis or coronavirus crisis, I would say you'd have somebody come over and give you hot massages. And I know that sounds crazily expensive, but I cannot tell you how important it is postpartum for your own care and your own self-love. It's almost more important than having before you have a baby. You need to, so the huge container of tea at the side of your bed, and I put the recipe in Mystical Motherhood. I think it's fennel and cardamom or something. Fennel really helps with breast milk. You just actually pour fennel into the water. And there's one more herb, but that's in my book. Then in the room, some mantras you can play for the baby after they're born one is Japji, Japji.
Japji.
Yeah, and a call, AKAL, during the birth. A call brings... It helps release souls and bring souls in the world.
During the birth, did you say?
Yeah, and after.
Yeah.
And Japji is the sound of like the highest sound of God. And so playing that after birth is what's recommended as a mantra, as a very long prayer. Let me think what else. Puta Matakia. Poota. New word. P-O-O. T-A, Puta, Mata, M-A-T-A, Kia, K-I-A is another mantra that's beautiful for like a mother and the baby. Extending your meditation, if you want to do that meditation longer, would be really beautiful. Playing the mantra Rogante is another one to protect the baby and the embryo as it grows. What else? The other things postpartum. Make sure you have a container to hold the baby in. Like, so you want to always, I want you to read the bonding section of my Mystical Motherhood book and over again. And I want you to read the end of it. I want you to read about the sound current after the baby's born. So the baby is held within like a sound bubble. And so loud sounds are not okay for a baby. No loud TVs, no violence, nothing that's going to penetrate that sound system. So they're almost like, you know how birds react to sound, or how really high energy frequencies react to it's like a sound current, and loud noises scare a dog and those kind of things. You've got to think of the baby in this sound bubble. And I'm not giving it the accurate or the best interpretation or description right now because I don't have my book open. But I want you to read that chapter in my book, Mystical Motherhood, about the sound bubble after the baby's born and how important it is and how important these mantras are. And it's really the tone of your voice that matters with the child, not what you're saying. The tone, they only hear tones. And then from that tone, are you expressing a tone of love? Are you showing them a tone of love with your voice? Is your sound current carry love in it? And then that's how they react and learn. And making sure that you wrap the baby and keep the baby on you at all times. Ancient tribes would have the baby at the level of the eyes. So the baby, you have to consider that the baby is a full-blown soul, a high soul from planet Sirius, let's say, wherever planet your baby's from. And that soul is in a small body. And so the soul could be much older than you. So treating this soul with respect, and just because it's a baby doesn't mean it's a baby. And so this soul could be 25,000 incarnations ahead of you. So honoring that. And I never talk to my children in baby talk. Not one time. Maybe I was like cuckoo a little bit, but like they would be basically probably flip me off, you know? And so I've always talked to them like adults. I'm like, I'm going to change your diaper. It's happening. That's it. It's got to happen, right? And then, and I tell them why. And I'm like, because you're going to become messy. And it's not like I baby talk them, right? And so when I kiss them, I love them. But they're articulate because of that. Also, when you're holding the baby on your chest in a carrier, so having a really good carrier, I wouldn't even get the hippie kind. I'd get like the black ones with the straps and the thing. Yeah, and the infant carrier is essential. Absolutely essential, because it also will help the baby's stomach muscles and legs to work harder to hold itself up. And they think that the babies who are held in carriers are not wrapped up all the time. So all the wrapping of the babies, they think that those babies walk faster. And I can tell you with my babies, I didn't wrap them like everyone told me to do because they didn't want to be wrapped. And I carried them in the carriers and they both started walking at 9 months.
Okay.
Not that that's a good thing. I'm just saying I think it's because their stomach muscles were strong because what happens is in the ancient fields when women were picking corn or moving around, they had to move the same muscles as their parents because the mom would carry the baby. So we don't do that anymore with our kids. We don't go out and work with them, right? But those children have gained muscles that we never gained quicker. Does this make sense? So they're carried on the back or they're carried on the stomach. Yeah. They had to use their muscles in order to move with their mother. And as a result of that, they gained muscles that were unusual for children, and they had longer, they ran faster, they had better muscle, use.
Yeah, so interesting.
It is. It's all, I have so much more information. And all of this, again, is available in my first book, Mystical Motherhood. And if you're thinking about having a baby, go to Fertile, which is an amazing book. And
I've read those.
Did you like them? What did you learn from them for other people to listen to?
Oh, so much. Like Mystical Motherhood, it's almost like the journey from even before you started thinking about children. And so you gave me a copy of that in August. And I'd already kind of been on a bit of a journey with finding out about contraception and nutrients that you needed, like mindset you need to be in. So it just furthered my learning, I think, Mystical Motherhood. And then obviously after that there was all the other bits that you included about baby coming, like postpartum care, so much, just learned so much. Just made me look at things in a completely different way. Yeah,
good. That's what I aim to do.
And then Fertile just blew my mind really in terms of other things, just a whole different dimension of of ideas, theories, pulled in so many other different concepts. It just completely broadened my learning and understanding of the whole subject, really.
Good. Do you feel like you're a little less fearful right now and a little bit more prepared for the next 2 months?
Yeah, definitely. Just looking at it from a view of being internal rather than external.
Yes, that's huge. And so you're just going to go.
I just never thought of it like that.
And you need to go in internal right now. So it starts now, and it's almost like slowing down on work and taking the time to just go off into nature is very important. Going on those walks, I can't tell you how important it is. Just because it's just going to prep you and get you really quiet, especially in that countryside there. And if you need to focus on the external, put yourself in that room. You're an astral being. You can absolutely do that. If you can't meditate more, play more mantras. Just replace the time with playing mantras in the background. Do the same thing.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Begin to have conversations with the baby. So you're going to say, this is how we're going to do it. This is what's going to happen. You need to communicate when you're coming. I need to know ahead of time. Tell me when to stop working. Tell me who not to be around. Tell me who you like, what you want me to eat. I would reread the end of Mystical Motherhood because
I'm going to do that. I've written that down.
Yeah, it will really help you. And then I want you to just call me if you have any questions.
I will do, definitely. And hopefully it all goes not to plan. I don't want to say that, but hopefully it just goes to plan.
Yeah, you can, but you can't, like, if you're training like this and you have no issues, we're just going to pray that everything works. But I mean, there's always things that happen, but the less interventions you have, hopefully the less chances of anything going wrong. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, so insightful. Thanks, Chelsea.
You're welcome. You excited?
Yeah, I'm so excited. Every morning I wake up and I'm like, oh, please hurry up. I want to meet you. And just on that, like, talking to babies, I feel like I've been doing that since, like, I found out, really.
Yeah. But then you listen to the responses now. So now it's time to start to listen to responses and not to question that that's the baby talking. So with intuition, and if I'm reading somebody, it's my first intuition. It's my first knowing. It's my first, it's the first answer.
What did you say? Sorry,
it's your first answer when the baby's responding to you. It's the first thing you hear.
Oh, right. Yeah, your gut. Yeah, your instinct. Yeah. Yeah.
I love you.
I know.
I'm excited for you.
I'm so excited. Good. I just can't wait to see what she looks like, her personality.
I know, that's what the fun part is.
Yeah. I don't know. See how she's doing. We had a scan, when was it? About 2 weeks ago. And the midwife was like, oh my God, look at all that hair. Oh! So much hair. She had a halo of hair around her. It was ridiculous. Yeah, very exciting. Just can't wait. We keep on saying to each other, oh, she's going to be our little ray of light in all this like doom and gloom at the moment.
Oh no, all these babies are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't. Poor thing. She doesn't know what what kind of world she's entering.
Did you write all that down that we just talked about?
Write everything down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Nice. Okay. I love you. I'm sending you love.
Okay. Sending you all the way back.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, please leave a star review, leave a little note, share this on social media, tell your friends. You can find my books, both Mystical Motherhood and Fertile, on Amazon, printed under my name, Pritam Atma, or you can go to www.mysticalmotherhood.com. If you are in need of help, a reading, a healing, advice, or you have questions, please reach out to me at www.mysticalmotherhood.com or mysticalmotherhood@gmail.com. I'm here to help you and help everybody get through this. Have a nice and beautiful day, and I'll see you again soon. Mm. Hmm.
Hi.
Hey, I've never seen that happen.
There's a lot of weird things happening.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's not, it's not, it just kept saying, you'll let me in soon. I was like, oh, okay. No
Let
worries.
me close my window because New York, there's like a COVID plane and a siren every minute. So
Okay.
So, Casey, immediately when I read you, I see like three different images. I see one image where it's like you're in your office and there's like 8 to 10 piles of paper, and you're like tick, 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 tidying up paper. Like, and you don't look panicked, but you're just like doing little things. And it's funny because it's like, well, why not just put the pile together and make a gigantic pile? But you're like, no, I'm going to separate it out, like these different things. So that's like one thing. It's like there's so much on your plate right now. Right?
Yeah.
And then
Probably
second,
30 piles.
there's like so many. They're all white paper, which is like they're very clean and neat.
Funny, I've just been ripping it out of my printer. I've given up on notebooks. I've just been taking it out of my printer.
Oh yeah, so there's all this white paper all over, just literally white paper. That's what I'm showing.
Literally white paper.
Another thing that I'm seeing is the distance between you and your partner, and how the word you used for me, it was a specific word. Inconvenient isn't even like the right word. It's beyond frustrating for you. It feels like, and it's almost like hitting a point. Third thing, I saw 4 visions, and I never know what they mean until the end. Then I figured them out. And then I saw a noose around your neck. Like the third was a bit more violent, and it was like pulling you back, and it was almost pulling you out of the office you're in right now under the level of stress you're in. It's almost like, are you ready to give this up? would you give it up? Like that, are you going to, I don't know what it means. We have to go through it, because if I go through what it means for you, I don't want to interpret it wrong. So we'll start to talk. This news is like, are you going to hang yourself for this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it means, but it kind of feels like that. And then another thing is you were in the water, you were like drowning in this ocean. And I picked you out of the ocean and I pulled you up onto this boat, and you couldn't remember parts of your life. I don't know if you had parts of your life that you like put under subconscious. Did you have anything happen or
had a lot happen?
Yeah, like a lot. What about your dad? What was like, did you have a relationship with him?
He was not a great relationship, no.
Was he really stern and intense with you?
Yeah. And he was he got like fibromyalgia when I was really young, or some form of it, and the meds that they were constantly cycling on, he was like pretty much bipolar. So
yeah,
it was fun and games and then scary.
Was some of that abuse?
Yeah.
Okay, so what they're showing me, I'm glad that I saw that, because it's like I pulled you out of the water. I covered you with a blanket, and I was like, can't you remember? And you're like, I can't remember. And I was like, what can't you remember? And you like, I just don't remember. And it's like parts of that was submerged. So I asked, I asked your consciousness, is this sexual abuse? And you didn't think so. Is it?
Oh yeah, it's everything.
It was everything, but you just kind of shook your head. And then I definitely saw your father and the level of abuse there.
But he was more physical abuse. The sexual abuse happened really young, and I think it was with a relative.
Okay, so there was, because that's the first thing I asked, but you just
that is something I don't remember.
Okay,
and I've gone through therapy to know everything. I know it happened, but there's no.
Okay, so this is all sounding true when we say this to you.
Yeah, the other thing is I had a traumatic brain injury. I don't know if I told you, like 3 years ago.
You did not tell me. I don't know anything about you.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I lost my memory for a couple of years.
Oh, that's why.
So there's things where I know I've definitely suppressed stuff that I dealt with from my childhood because it was traumatic, and then the traumatic brain injury, I had short and long term. So
many parts missing, and I feel like there's almost like we need to do some soul rescues at some point. Like it's like parts of yourself have been lost in these places.
Yeah.
And it's really, really big, because I mean, just seeing that, not even hearing your name and seeing that, and the amount, it actually is put you into a traumatic state in some ways. Does this make sense?
Oh yeah.
It feels like because of those parts of you that are kind of lost in time and space, if we look at this on a level of a quantum experience, it's like it separates. It's almost like, how inside outside always happens. It's almost like it separates you from your reality right now. Like even the level that you are missing parts of your life with your partner, and how that mirrors that. And it's like it's and how until these parts are healed or whole or and it almost mirrors even the parts that the piles that you're putting out you're separating everything into piles. Like everything has to be separate. It has to be compartmentalized. And then the separateness that's happening with this boyfriend. Do you see the connection? Like this, like these gaps.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I see one pile? To me, that would make more sense. It'd be like, well, if it's all white paper, why wouldn't your consciousness organize it into one whole pile? There's parts and part. That's what I'm reading. Talk to me. Tell me about yourself. I don't know anything about you other than I just read what needs to be healed.
Yeah. I definitely know, like, coping mechanism wise, to come back from the injury, which I wasn't really meant to be where I am. So I'm very grateful. To remember and to get everything, and I have so much on my plate, I have to keep everything out in case, because I might forget my short-term memory. I have to constantly have triggers around to make sure I'm remembering or practicing remembering and doing. I have to do sometimes things quite a few times for it to become a mid and long-term memory. And so I'm constantly doing that on top of everything else.
It's so, that happened to you. It feels like it wasn't, I have two questions about this. Was this almost like a near-death experience? Did you almost die? What happened?
I didn't almost die, but I definitely had a crossing over experience at the time that I didn't remember until months later. It was I was playing beach rugby with the boys, and one of them just knocked me out. And so it was like a social game. I've been playing rugby most of my life, so it was a freak accident. But then I don't believe in that stuff. So whatever I'm grateful for, I feel like the 2 or 3 years of what I've gone through to get where I am now has, yes, I suffer a lot of PTSD and I pushed through a lot, but it was like about, I think I saved myself 10 years of extensive kind of all kinds of therapy for the enlightenment experience. Like I got to head towards instead. Like it honestly cracked my heart open.
Yes.
To just realize what wasn't open, and it hadn't been open my whole life. So,
but what it did is it reminded you of what you've forgotten.
Yeah.
The gaps in space and time that you left parts of yourself in, and so many things you couldn't remember.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody who goes through trauma has a different way of coping with it. Some people, and for you, it's like you couldn't remember. And so you almost had to knock yourself out of not remembering to remember that you had forgotten.
Yeah.
That is just incredible. Isn't it incredible the way we self-awaken and the ways that all our stories of this self-awakening, So, okay. So the first session is just like, I look at everything. I mean, so each parts of these are actually separate sessions. And they can go so profound and so deep. As you can see, within 5 minutes, I can read very clearly some things that can be healed. I almost feel like we should work with the paper because we're just touched it. Okay. And like understand if the noose around your neck is you needing to recreate a new life and a fear of that as we're going through like what COVID's causing to businesses and how you're going to work out this relationship with the separation. Does that feel like the most important thing right now as it's right in front of you, or is there something else that comes to mind?
Look, it's so much.
There's so much going on right now.
Yeah. Whatever comes up as important. I've gotten to the point where I can't even decide what's important anymore other than I'm so focused on the business and my employees. I know that I'm not center of attention at all.
You have 8 employees?
Yes. And so we're 4 plus me. So now 4 paid at the moment.
So you have 4. Was there more before?
Yes. Yeah.
How many more was there before?
4 more. And the 4 more were part-time.
So the 8 pieces of paper or the 8 piles I saw were your 8 employees.
Okay.
So I saw 8 piles of paper. And so and you were like, it's like, yeah. Is there any way you could go lay down? Could you move and go lay down, or is it impossible?
Now?
Yeah. So you can
Yep. I just can move some stuff.
Yeah. Can you do that? And then we can like go have you go deeper.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I see what we have to do. Why did you choose to come to me by chance? Because I was asked. You just
I was on, I think I found you on Instagram.
Did you even know what I do?
Not beforehand.
You just knew
particularly. I went down a rabbit hole with someone else. I can't even remember who I was following until it got to you. And then, hang on, and I was just, oh gosh, sorry. And because I've been trying to I've been trying to come to peace with this whole relationship, family, baby thing. And
there's some things we need to let you go, let go of some worries. That can't happen until all this is settled.
Right. That's what I feel like, that there's so much what's the word? It's not happening for a reason. So I'm like, okay, let's figure this out.
Yeah, I just want to, if you need to lay down, I just want you to be able to be comfortable and close your eyes and not at a desk, because your work mode is so in you that you're like sitting at a desk to talk to me. And it's like, we're going to get you out of that.
I don't know any other mode at the moment.
Right. So close your eyes.
Hang on,
and
do you need to see me or?
It doesn't matter. I don't need to see you. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to see you at your desk, and I want you to see the level of panic you have for these 8 sheets of paper, like these 8 piles of paper, which I saw, which we now know are the 8 employees. I couldn't figure out why you had 8 piles.
I definitely don't feel like it was 8 employees.
Or what was it? Or something? What did you say? You had 4 employees and you lost 4? Or
well,
what?
I just couldn't keep them on, so they were all part-time. So the 4 full-timers stayed.
Okay, so your energy is still attached to them. So I want you to see if there's anybody else, what I want you to do is I want you to see all of these, whoever you're working with. I want you to see them represented like in a room. I want you to see a panel of them in a room.
Okay.
And is there any part of you that needs to have a conversation with these employees?
Yes.
Okay, so turn towards me so I can still hear you a little bit.
Yeah.
Because what we're going to do is we're going to sit you down at, like, I want you to imagine this is a white room. And it's like bring in the ones that are the most important, that are still energetically connected to you right now.
Most important as in I have to deal with something because they drive me insane, or most important because I love them and want to keep them?
How many are there total?
4 full-time total. There's one that's like part-time, so 5. But 2 of the 5 are driving me mental.
Okay. And was there more before this though?
Yeah, and I'm still in touch with them. They're just not they're not being paid.
Okay. So I want you to bring all of them to the room.
Okay.
I want you to bring all of them to the room, because you need to show them. We're going to ask all of them to come into the room. We don't even need to say their name. I want you to look at all their faces right now and acknowledge their energy and go along, even the ones that are not being paid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all the way around the room. And then I want you to show them this noose that's over your head, because I don't think they understand the level of pressure that you're under.
Mm.
And there's not an equality in this. There's sort of like an entitlement from them, or something's off with a couple of them. And I want you to show them the level of pressure. And I want you to physically take that noose off your neck. And I want you to see it burning. To let that go, like that, like I'm going to hang myself feeling. Okay? Do you see that, what I'm talking about? That kind of energy? Are you kind of feeling like that right now? Like I'm going to go in like this level of insanity, right?
Yeah. And so the 8th person is me.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So 7 people, whatever. I don't know. I just saw 8. Doesn't matter. Maybe I was wrong, but I don't know. So now I want you to look at all their energy, and I want you to see, do you have any energetic cords connected to any of these people? Yes or no?
Yes.
And how many?
3.
Okay, can you bring the computer closer to you so I can hear you? You can put it right next to you. Yeah. 3?
3.
Okay. And so they're going to bring them up to the front. And I want you to begin to have a conversation with these 3. What haven't you told them? What truths haven't you told them? Do you need to let them go?
Just in my head, like not to say to you, not to say
like actually let them go from the company.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, let them go.
So you're, in real life, you want to fire them, right?
Yes.
Because you have to, right?
No, because I want to, and I can't.
You can't right now, but you want to.
Yes.
Okay, so why can't you?
Because of COVID-19.
Oh, and you're not allowed to fire people?
Not now that we've applied for government assistance. I can't until like June let go of anyone or reduce their hours or wages by an exponential amount. And also I can't afford to pay my lawyer who can help me figure it out. He won't talk to me until I pay my bill, and I can't pay my bill. So there's all these like, I probably literally am having that noose until June feeling, I guess, is what it is.
Yeah, but what you need to do is you need to release the pressure around it and sort of surrender to the situation. Yeah. Because what I'm seeing is you want to fire them right now. Oh. And you, so like, I was like, I'm going to teach you how to do that if you weren't ready, but you can't do it on a level because of what's going on.
I wouldn't mind doing it on a level that gets my power back so they don't have power over me.
Yeah, because there's something that they're taking from you and it's like they're controlling that noose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a like, and it's almost like they know it.
Yep, they do.
And it's totally inappropriate.
Yep, it's 2 boys.
Yeah, and what about the woman? Is there a woman?
Yes, there is 2 women. One girl, 1 woman.
And can I ask you something that may sound a little odd?
Well, nothing's odd.
Is this sort of triggering, you know how your dad would go a little bit mentally off? Mm-hmm. Is it making you kind of feel like your dad, or is any of them mirroring dad to you, or is any of it feeling like you feel like you're mentally off right now?
Oh, I definitely feel mentally off.
Okay, so that's why dad keeps coming in with this, is like, because dad wasn't kind of mentally off. So what happens is like, either we create, I mean, you know this, I'm just reminding you because you seem like a very awake woman, but we recreate our past in our present, even though we're not meaning to. Our subconscious is so powerful until fully healed. If dad was a little bit mentally ill, we will create situations or people as an outside force or within ourselves where we feel a little bit mentally ill, right? Mm-hmm. So if dad's a little bit mentally ill, you of course hit your head. We're still going to go back to this room, but you of course hit your head where dad really should have gotten his head hit. Does that make sense? To clear it out, to take a break, to go quiet, right? So there's a few things I want to tap into, is the level that these people are creating that chaos in your life that is almost shaking you up to the core to heal this kind of this wound on a level, right? Yeah. Do you see that connection, or am I wrong? Are we wrong when we see this?
No, you're right. And I have that belief too. I know they're teaching me something and I know I haven't learnt it yet.
This is so multifaceted, but because it's so layered, but as is the COVID virus.
Right.
You know, there's a polarity to everything. There's the dark forces that are trying to annihilate our planet in some way. And then there's also the other side of what's offering us the opportunity to awaken, as there will always be in a polarity planet.
Yeah.
But with this, you need to go into each of these people. And if there's like a metal wire connecting your energy to them, I want you to yank it out of your heart and disconnect your energy from all 4 of these people. Like it's like a machine pumping back and forth, and the energy that you are sharing with them is like you're giving them your life force.
Yeah.
And it's triggering in you major old wounds from dad. That's what I'm kind of getting. Is this true when we say this to you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm bleeding out.
Yeah. So take take that back, like take like the blood you're giving them, the oxygenated blood, like there's like a metal tube, just like I want you to imagine you're taking it out, and we're going to ask is there any angel guides that you work with or anyone that you feel trusted with?
I used to Archangel Michael, but that's probably the only one I can remember.
Okay, so let's ask Archangel Michael to come, because he was the first one actually came to mind. And then also, I always work with Goddess Isis. So we'll ask Goddess Isis to come in. And we're going to pull these tubes out so that you're not having this life force energy sucked from you and these people right now. So just watch it disconnecting from you. It's like almost like Avatar, like where you'd unplug it. So unplug it from your heart and just release it on each person, like each little tube that's connecting to your heart, and let that go back to them. And allow like a solve to take over, and see how you can get the breath back in you. Like they're almost taking the breath out of you. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And is there moments in time that these 4 people are taking the breath out of you so much that it kind of feels like moments of PTSD or moments of shocked abuse or something like that?
Yeah.
So tell me how those people who we're now slowly disconnecting from on an energetic level, since we can't fire them yet, I want you to tap your third eye 3 times. And I wanted you to go to the first memory where you almost had the breath taken out of you with dad or some, probably with dad. Is there moments in time where he shocked you so much, like it would drop to your stomach, that energy of like, the fear, like that energy? When is the time and space that it got like that with him?
It was like that consistently. I'm trying to think.
Here, turn towards me so I can hear you better.
I'm trying to think of a specific one, but that was also his way of
controlling you.
Well, just even a little thing like when you're a kid, he would just throw you in the water and then give you a handle and go, the only way back to shore is to ski. Even if you didn't want to, you'd be screaming.
That's why I saw you in that boat. You were thrown in cold water and
I drowned a few times doing things where, he would push us and tough love and wouldn't accept anything less than anything.
Did he actually put you in a boat sometimes?
Yeah.
So where was this? Because they showed me a vision. We're going to clear that out, because the vision I had was you and I were in a boat, and you were out in the middle of this water, and you were in the water, freezing cold, and you were the wind knocked out of you, and you just said, I can't remember anything, in total shock. That's a massive memory for you. So tell me about the times that dad would put you in a boat. What did he do to you? Why did he do that to you?
Every weekend training to be a professional water skier. So,
oh my God, I can't believe these things I see. Okay. Wow. Okay. Go ahead.
There were times more so when I was learning to barefoot, which is with no water skis, and you have massive, massive falls and you get the wind knocked out of you. I'd fractured all kinds of bones. And yeah, I've definitely been pulled into the boat a few times, but that was more memories like early teens, late teens. As a child, there's a lot.
Okay, so take all those memories right now, and I want you to put a glass jar in front of you, okay?
In my head?
In just wherever, like I'm near your heart or right just somewhere like by you. And I want you to, like, in your mind, I want you to put every single memory of this boat scene, because this boat scene of getting the wind knocked out of you is getting, not only was it traumatic for your system and shocking as much as you thought, like, it's like when we're children, it doesn't seem like abuse.
Now as an adult, it definitely was.
But like it actually kind of was.
Yeah.
And because you're maybe someone who wanted to have that high intensity sports would do that, but he was almost doing it as like if somebody was going to whip you and then say, well, why this is a game, it's a sport. But it's like he used you as a gambling tool. He gambled with you.
Yeah.
Does this make sense to you when we say this to you?
Yeah.
He pawned you around.
Well, yeah, it was. I was never included because I was the only girl in it, and he was like, if you ever want to play, you want to play with the boys or anything, you better play to win. You've got to toughen up and all this. And I'm a very sensitive, empathetic person, and I just had to get tough if I ever wanted to be included, I guess. And so it just kind of went from there. And I was traumatized pretty much, if not every other day, at least every weekend, by my dad and his brothers and all my cousins, because I was the only girl. Yeah.
And isn't it funny? You get knocked out by male rugby players on the thing, because that's an uncommon thing. I mean, I've never heard of a woman getting knocked out by male rugby players in my whole life.
To be playing with them.
Yeah, like, right. So there's that. And then, of course, the two men that are sitting at the table. So what we do when we have this kind of trauma with men is, and we haven't even gotten to your boyfriend yet, who's unavailable.
In every
we
way.
haven't even gotten there. I mean, we're just on our first session, right? And we're looking at these. I mean, there's so many levels of trauma within us. And I'm not trying, we're going to go to the good things soon. I don't want to talk about this ever again. This will be one session out. And I'll give you meditations to do so you can, get to it. But you need to take those boat scenes, and I want you to tap your third eye 1, 2, 3 times. And I'm asking Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary, Green Tara, and Goddess Isis to surround you in 4 different directions. I want you to put every single boat scene where your father would pawn you that kind of energy of can't you keep up? Why can't you keep up? Which created so much trauma within you and this constant need to succeed in life and never quite making it because you would fall down in the water. That kind of an energy.
Yeah.
All the memories of not being able to breathe. And it's interesting because we're in this COVID crisis where people aren't breathing. And then you're drowning in water, which the lungs are the part of the heart opening plus what's happening, right? So just begin to put all those memories in there and tell me if any of them come up that's significant, and otherwise just dump them. And let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
And all the feelings of so wanting his love, and approval, but his like emotional psychotic kind of state couldn't give that to you. You see that?
Yeah.
And he wasn't like definable psychotic, but it was just like subtle but stern and there, right?
Yeah, not enough to get locked away for or be separated from.
Right. And then is there any scenes or showing me scenes like you walking into the front room as a child with the TV on at night?
He was always in front of the TV.
Okay. Now go to those. And he's sitting at the TV and it's nighttime, and the level of fear you have around him. Like you can't go and sit in his lap. Really? Like you wouldn't naturally as a child be like, there's daddy, I'm going to go sit with him, right? Am I correct? Are we correct when we see this?
Yeah.
So that kind of a panic of even seeing him there. But it was the only time he was really quiet, true?
Yeah.
And so you respected that time, but like that's a massive memory for you. Anything around that you want to talk about with us?
No, just nothing. Yeah, nothing was more important than that. And he was very much that fear-mongering kind of person, like wanted to hear the bad news and watch the news and get all the shit and repeat the shit.
Interesting, because that's what a lot of people are doing right now.
I know. It's like,
And so I see him like watching TV with his feet up, maybe like drinking a beer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I might be making that part up, but I want you to burn those memories too.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know. So I want you to put all those memories, his boat memories and these memories of him in the front room, into this container. And tell me when you're all done. And then we're going to burn them with a purple flame of Saint Germain, like a red purple flame. You ready?
Almost. Yeah.
Okay, now burn. And I want you to see the DNA within your body actually like cleaning out. Like I want you to see it flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping in the fire. And then I want you to see all the pieces of paper on the desks that they showed me, the piles. I want you to see each one of them burn like this, like just start on fire. Like that they're showing me in a row, and just burn all of that. And then let me know when it's just ashes. And when it's just ashes, you can use some water to just make sure it's all out in these different piles and in this glass jar. And then use some wind to go through. And then just allow it to evaporate into the air. And then with these little girls in the boat and the little girl in the house, I want you as an adult, we're going to go in and do a soul rescue. Do you have a pillow by you?
Yeah.
Grab the pillow and hold the little pillow. And I want you to hold the pillow tight. And we're going to go into these different situations. So we're actually going to take a boat out, you and I. So I'm holding your hand right now, and you and I are we're on our own little raft boat. And this teenage girl, actually, that's what I said, is like old, but not like a baby girl. She's in the water, like just trying to swim for dear life, catching her breath. Now grab her. You see her?
Yeah.
Now grab her and pick her up out of the water. And they're showing me to have you integrate her into you immediately right there. Do you see how? Now pick her up out of the water and have her just fully go into you. And then we're going to ask Jesus, and I want you to see Jesus's flame. His flame is being shown to me. So use Jesus's, flaming heart with the beautiful, intense flaming heart Jesus holds. That's your symbol for this rescue. I want you to pick her up. Is there anything that's coming to mind? I want you to just allow yourself to see yourself crying in this vision, like the parts of you that were lost, those years you lost. And let me know when you're complete with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Take a few deep breaths. I want you to breathe deeply into your chest. And then I want you and I, so that we're going to let that lifeboat come back in. And then we're going to go into the front room at night. And the little girl, she's much littler, like 6, 7, young, maybe 4. She's young. Not the girl in the boat was older. Do you see the little girl in her nightgown?
Yeah, those are the memories before 7 I have trouble with.
Okay, this is the TV memories. Like it's like you're just watching Dad and you're being stunned by. It's like a blank space, and you're like stunned in front of the room. But I want you to walk in the room. You're holding my hand, And I want you to pick up the little girl because she's stunned. She went into shock. Something put her into shock. Do you see that? Her face?
Mm-hmm.
A horror movie. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Can you tap into her?
Mm-hmm.
And just tell her, wake up, wake up. Pick her up. Now shake her a little bit and say, wake up, wake up. And wake her up. She's in like a walking sleep. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Is it scary for you?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to shake her a little bit and have her, when somebody would wake up from a sleep, like if they're sleepwalking?
Yeah.
Tell me when she wakes up. And we have the Holy Spirit with us, and we have Mother Mary in the room, so there's nothing to be afraid of. And I'm right here, so shake her.
Yeah.
Is she waking up, or is she kind of passing out again?
No, she's waking up.
Okay, what is she saying? Does she have anything to say?
No, just confused.
Okay, what does she need to feel comforting so she can leave this house?
Like
Water, maybe? Can you give her a little water?
Yep.
When she was little, ask her if anybody gave her any pills or medications to take. Did anybody ever give her pills?
I'm not getting anything.
Okay. Have you ever taken pills in your life?
Yeah.
Okay, a lot?
What kind of pills?
Well, any like drug pills or any things to try to overdose or any things to
Not
numb you out?
street drugs, not prescription drugs.
Okay, so that's connected to this memory, like the need for that, because I'm just seeing like pills on tongues. So just like, how we do drugs for whatever reason, and then when we heal that part of ourselves, we don't need to do the drugs anymore.
Yeah.
It's connected to these years you lost of this trauma. You get that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to also, so now we're picking up the girl, and simultaneously we're going to release all the times that you were a teenager or older doing these level of was it ecstasy maybe or something?
Speed and cocaine.
Okay, so speed and cocaine. So we're going to, it's that you were creating a numbing effect because of the numbing that you went through as a child. Does that feel correct when we say this to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to begin. We're simultaneously burning those memories out, changing the DNA. If you can see that in your mind's eye, it's happening right at the same time because this is all connected to that consciousness. Is a little girl awake enough, and is she awake enough to go, and does she trust to leave with you? Have you talked? Can she leave with you? Can she come with you?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to take her, and then your father's sitting there watching TV, numbed out himself. And what needs to happen to your father for him to have redemption, or for the little girl to feel safe? Does he need to go to school? Does he need to go to jail? Does he need to be with the angels? What does he need to do to be healed?
He needs to find Jesus and God, I think.
Should we call Jesus in?
Yeah.
To have Jesus sit with him for how long?
Forever.
Okay, so we're going to ask Jesus.
How long right now?
We're going to go into that memory, and then we're going to ask Jesus to enter into the heart of your father.
Yeah.
And I want you to see Jesus's flaming heart, because the heart of humanity is opening. So Jesus is showing his flaming heart to me. And I want you to see it, just Jesus, how he can do it in his light body. It's very subtle, and he doesn't have to do much to begin to awaken the Father's heart. He's not alive anymore. Is he still alive?
He's still alive, yeah.
Okay, this will affect him in present time, 155%. So allow Jesus to go into his body, and at present time now to touch his heart. And we're going to ask the Sophia Dragon Tribe, from the Sophia Code, the book, the two dragons to come in, and we're going to ask that the two dragons go from the front and to the back. Two white dragons. I want you to see them, and I want you to see them burning him and the ignorance within him of the things he can't see, because he lives in almost like a carousel world of his own reality, and he's never gotten off his own carousel. They're showing me like the level of like a child being almost insane on their carousel.
Yeah.
and he's just spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning in his own reality. And he's so stuck. He's emotionally stuck at the age of like 4. I've actually never seen that. Like most people are like, make it to 16, but there's parts of him that are stuck in his own trauma that happened when he was a young boy.
Yeah.
Does that feel accurate when we say that to you?
Yeah, that's right.
So we're going to ask that Jesus go right into that So what we do is we want to clear that genealogy so that you don't keep attracting men like this. And if you do have a child or however you do, that doesn't come in again. And so we're going to allow the healing to happen for him that goes back in time and space. And then it's taken care of now. Anything else you need to say to him as we're leaving? Anything you need to say to your father for one last time?
Forgiveness.
You forgive him?
Well, he needs to forgive as well. As in not me, like in whatever's happened to him.
He needs to go through his own forgiveness. It may not happen in this lifetime.
Yeah.
But you need to, have Jesus work with him and say, offer that up, as a gift to him, that this is your gift to him. And thank you. Because you learned lessons from this that put you on your path in your life. Many, many paths you took. So we did a soul rescue. We're leaving him. He's being taken care of. And your subconscious now knows that that's happening. We know where it comes from in his own trauma and his own line, which is so from childhood. And we're going to rescue the little girl. And she's wide awake and she's so excited to go. So bring her up in your arms. Yeah. And we're going to go out of the house now. This house is super dark. And we're going to seal this house in with because there were demons in the house. And I want you to see it sealed. I want you to take fire all the way around your house. All the way around, and allow the fire to go up in high protection. Do you see that? Yeah. And if there's any demons, we're going to create a portal within the house he's living in currently, in your childhood home, that allow these demons to be released from the planet. Any entities, any negative spirits, they can now leave. They can go home. They're no longer needed. We praise them and in their glory and in their light for all the jobs they've done, but they can now leave. If there's any demons on your father, we can place one hand upon him and ask that Jesus help to release those demons too, because is it feel accurate that he may have one demon at least?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, several probably. So yeah. We can do a healing for him, or we can just let them do that. What would you prefer?
They can do that.
Okay, that's what I thought. So take the little girl out. Now, where does the little girl need to go to be healed?
To me?
This little girl that we just rescued. So do you want to put her inside of you, or do you want to put her in a home or on the ocean, somewhere safe so she can play?
With me.
You want to have her with you in your home?
I don't know.
Well, usually when we do child rescue, we want to put the little girl somewhere that she can grow up and be in a space that she can be a little bit more healed. So you can either, if you want it, we can integrate her into your body. Let's do that. So let's integrate her into your body. It sounds like what you're wanting to do. And I want you to go to a beach to do that. For some reason, I don't know if you feel really safe at a beach or if you like the beach, but they're showing me a beach.
Mm-hmm.
Go to that place. Is that a safe place for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so go to that safe place. This is your safe place. So whenever the little girl in you feels really, really upset, and these people that are in your current life, which we haven't even gotten to yet, that are re-triggering daddy, are doing this, guess where you're going to go? That beach. Because that's where your consciousness feels safe. And anyone who's listening right now, that's where you go. You go to your safe place, and then you regenerate and you move from there. So you're going to go to this beach, and I want you to see the different parts of yourself from all of the times. And it's interesting because the ocean is so healing for you, but yet the water was so terrifying. And so all the times that you were, any times that's left over, any fragments of yourself, we're going to call back into wholeness here. And then we're going to put that little girl within you, and you're going to sit down on the beach and just integrate everything you went to. And we're going to allow the little girl, I want you to, what they're showing me to do is I want you to see the little girl sitting within you. And I want you to see the little girl grow up and fit within your body. Does that make sense? So she's right now, she's so little and she's sitting there inside of you, and have her grow up in time and space, like, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So she's growing an inch each year until she fits you into this time and space of where you are now. And let me know when you're done with that. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
Let me know when she's completely integrated.
Yeah.
And I want you to look at your body now, because there's a part of you that actually isn't loving your body. And they're telling me that you need to just give yourself on this beach love and affection that you're not receiving from the males in your life. And the parts, I want you to just feel your body in this, it's like they're showing you touching yourself. Am I real? Can I pinch myself? Is this real? Can I love myself? Do that. And I want you to, because right now, the fact that you're the partner so far away is a representation of how far away your dad always was. And that unavailability in the heart. Does that hurt you when we say this to you, or is this already something that you're consciously aware of?
I already know, yeah.
Okay. So, but until this part of you that daddy's healed, that can't heal. You'll recreate it again. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. So see yourself on the seashore of your own consciousness and feel what it's like to actually be okay by yourself, fully and like yourself, which is so hard for women. It's one of the hardest ventures we can ever take. And when you feel strong enough and you've gathered enough energy, I want you to bow down to the ocean's consciousness. Always leave a greeting or leave maybe some rose petals because of the soul integration you just went through. And then we're back in the boardroom with the people that were taking your blood. You see it?
Yeah.
And is there any conversations now that you're more of a whole individual? Is there any conversations that you need to have with them so that you guys can make it through June?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, what do you need to say to them?
Need to tell them to back off.
Okay, so I want you to say that right now, and I want you to command it. You're going to back off. And what do they say when you say that?
Oh, they whimper and become passive aggressive.
But do you see how sometimes they are almost dad? Some of it? Maybe not all of it, but how maybe different parts of them represent different people to trigger you. Do you get that? Or not a lot of it, but just occasionally. So I want you to draw a line between you and them. And it's like a boundary, the borders of a swimming pool. This is where I end and this is where you end. So they're showing you to energetically draw something in the sand. You would be no, this is my circle and this is where I live. And nothing that they say to you can get past this, okay? And then I want you to take mirrors. This is from my teacher, Celestine Starr, this mirror. And anybody who needs her information, please write me in at mysticalmotherhood@gmail.com. She's an amazing healer if you need any help. She always taught me to use mirrors with people. So, and I'll put her number at the bottom of this because she should really get credit for this. This is a really good one. So when you want to protect yourself from people, especially going with this COVID virus and whatever on the negative energy that's running through people, you can use mirrors and you can face them inward so you would only see yourself, or you can face them outward so people can see their own reactions. Mm. So if you're drawing the circle around you, would you like to have your mirrors face outward or inward?
Outward.
Okay, so I want you to see it like all these mirrors go, like push all around you. So all the way around you in all directions, even behind your back. Mm-hmm. And I want you to see yourself fully protected by these mirrors. So you can see them, but when they look at you, their reactions are reflected back. Do you see that protection?
Yeah.
And you're no longer connected to them in the same way. And then I want you to see them receiving their paperwork in June, which is going to give you enough time to slowly, get what you need to do in order to let them go as necessary, or to fix, or they have the opportunity to fix what's happening now, right?
Right.
So see that happening. And then flip the calendar to June. Pick a date that things sort of begin to close with them. Anything coming up for you right now?
Just a date and relief.
A date is what?
A date and relief.
A date and belief. What does that mean? Like you're having a hard time picking a date? Explain.
No, I just picked a date and then I felt relief.
Oh, you felt relief. I thought you said belief. I was like,
I think I'm waiting now.
What was the date? June 19th or something around there?
Pardon?
What was your date?
June 30th.
Okay, I got like 19th to the 30th. Okay, good. So it's going to be at the end of June. That's what I saw. So you're going to, in your mind's eye, you're going to work. That's your date. You're going to create your own reality. So what's happening with the COVID is we're all able to paint our own realities and create it how it's, how we want it to be and how it's going to be. And this is going to require for you journaling because that's how you work. And it's like, I want you to do that with like points if it's easier. Like, this is how it's going to look. This is, and then give like a few different ways it can happen. So the universe can say, okay, this is the best way for this to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, there's so much more we can work on, but that was a lot. We didn't even get to your boyfriend or to anything else.
That's all right. I kind of know a bit. I feel like it's not him, it's everything else.
It's everything else, and he's just a distant part of it. Yeah, he's not going anywhere right now. He's just there. But we need to work through other things first.
Yeah.
And these gaps in your consciousness is what I want to work on.
Mm.
And they will work on you in between our next session.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you feel now? So the first one is sort of like, I just look at all the things that's possible.
You want me to stay lying down?
No, you can sit up. But do you see why I needed you lying down?
Yeah. Yes. I don't know if you can see me. Yeah, those are definitely years that were missing, I guess. 6 to 11 and then 12 to 16 were pretty fucked. And whatever happened before that, I chose not to remember. I didn't remember. But, yeah, those were. I think I spent the rest of my life doing fucked up things to try and either run away or fix them. So
yeah. Well, the two things I saw that were massive were the drugs. And then that getting knocked out was just another part of it. Like, you're just doing it again. Like, you're like, let's recreate the past. We do that. It's amazing. You need to do the Jupiter chakra meditation. And no, I'll email it to you.
Oh, okay.
And I've talked about this in other podcasts. It's a meditation for trauma. Mm-hmm. And there's so many I give, but that one's amazing. It will help you with your work.
because what happens is we get attached to things that are not good for us. So not only will it help you with the attachment you're having to a male that's actually physically unavailable to you and not healthy because he's not physically here, but yet you're attached to him, right? And I know there's a major discomfort with that. It's going to help with that. It's going to help you with your job because you won't go in circles and be attached to people that you shouldn't be attached to in a company, right? In any way, shape, manner, or form. It's going to help you get things more accomplished so you're not running around in circles, because the trauma makes us like mice. And we just go in life. We cannot get out of the trauma. And so I'm going to send it to you. And there's a video. If you go to www.mysticalmotherhood.com, if you type in Kundalini yoga meditations for trauma or Jupiter chakra meditation, and I'll email this to you. There's a video at the bottom I created, and it's an amazing meditation, and it's so powerful. If you can do this, if you want to heal during this COVID and you're ready and you're done with this bull and you are sick of this pattern, right? If you do this meditation for 33 minutes a day, you'll be an entirely new human within a year, probably faster.
Is this guided?
It isn't guided, but it's so, I'm going to email it to you and then I'll FaceTime you tomorrow to teach it to you, but it's in the video that you'll see it. But you don't need to be guided. So tomorrow I want you to digest what we just did. I'm going to send you an email, and then we're going to come back on the phone together privately, and I'm going to go over it with you because I don't think you'll be able to start for a couple of days. And I'll teach it to you, but I want you to commit to doing this for yourself. The minimum I want you to do, some people can only handle 3 minutes. The minimum I want you to do is 11. Okay. If you're really ready to get through your crap fast, I want you to do 33 minutes a day.
And not any time, doesn't matter.
It's best to do it in the morning.
Okay.
And I'm going to send you another one called the addiction meditation. It's a super simple one. You can do it for 3 to 5 minutes. And it is going to help you get your thoughts right, particularly because of the brain injury. And so if you do these two, and we're going to make a commitment to it, and it will change you. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good.
Good? Yeah. I saw a lot. Is there anything you want to go over before we hang up and meet again?
No, it's always a lot. I've always had a lot. No, this is good. So getting someone to help step in to go in more direction of the lot sort of thing. I thought I did a lot of healing for the brain injury to get well enough to, I guess, to run my business and survive in what I do.
Yeah.
And I've only just recently realized that I'm still carrying a lot. I healed a lot, but now I've got to heal from the trauma. I've healed from the injury, but I've got to heal from the trauma of what it did, because I didn't quite get to heal in the sense that they were trying to push me to work so we didn't lose the business every chance they got. So I felt like that same thing, like you said, my dad was kind of pawning me for that. My ex-husband and business partners and that were constantly pushing me to either heal or work to kind of like not lose the business because it was in my brain because I had started it. So, and then these boys came on halfway through the injury, me thinking they were helping, but they just kind of wanted to take over. And as I've got better and better, they're now very angry at me because their opportunity to do something untoward is getting less and less because I'm getting better and better. So they've ingrained themselves, and I'm kind of like, so
this is a whole nother session of like, this is also a representation of the patriarchy and how we as women are going to take back our energy from a lot of different males. And so more and more women will be doing energy around the male and around taking back any power they took from us in any manner, shape, or form as this planet changes. Because what's happening with the COVID is that the male structure isn't ever going to work again the way that was created. Yeah. And so there's going to be more females that are going to have to figure out a way that we recreate it in a way. And I found more and more males are coming to me now needing help because what they previously thought would work is not working. And so you're going to have that normal battle within the male-female relationship happening right now. Correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So in our next session, that we're going to jump right into that, because that's what you're healing majorly for your line, is this male-female relationship right now.
Totally.
That is triggered by father's wound.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. I love you very much.
Thank you.
You feel like you got something out of this and you feel like you're going to leave? Good?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, drink a lot of water, a ton of water, because we worked with the water element.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to check in on you tomorrow and email you.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.